I call this the stated lie. You know, they call it stated income. They'll have SISA, stated income, stated asset, or SIVA, stated income, verified assets. You know, stated income, you need just certain ratios. You have debt to income, and all your debts. That's why they pull credit. All your debts, add up to whatever per month, and then your income gets added up to whatever, and you need to fit in these certain ratios. Okay. Now, you gotta be like 38% front end and back end. You gotta be so much. Okay, well it's really a disaster with regard to full documentation and explaining how that works to the borrowers. And they don't want to get into that. They don't. No, most borrowers are not going to understand any of that terminology. Easily 90%. Well, no, they should know this stuff. As a loan officer, I'm thinking, well, you should know all this stuff. You should know what DTI is. You should know what LTV is. I worked at a bank, people. It took me a month in training to know what LTV was. Yeah, go ahead and make fun of me all you want for not understanding. I just right out of college, I went to Ohio Savings Bank, and they spent 6 weeks with us in training, explaining DTI, LTV, and we're bankers. We're not going to be doing loans anyway. We don't even need to know what this stuff is. And finally, we all got it. I was 22, 23 years old. First job out of college, Ohio Savings Bank, AM Trust, and of course they failed. Truly, seriously, I don't get it sometimes how the government can allow this stuff. These loans, these stated loans, are coming directly from Fannie Mae themselves, Freddie Mac too. Of course, here we are in 2010. It's not going to work. But look, there is a time and place for stated loans. I've seen it. There are people that just, full documentation is not going to work because, they might have something that's, I mean, I saw a guy who was a truck driver once, and he didn't show the IRS anything. So great, now you got W-2s, nothing even there, okay? And then, great, well let's go ahead and work on the bank accounts. Well, he didn't even have that. He just had, he used money orders. And he had a savings account, which was, I'm trying to remember this, one of those old school ones, those little books that you hardly ever even see anymore. So, monthly, you could qualify people for that, but here's a problem. The very high majority of the time, these loan officers are qualifying borrowers just because, I shouldn't say the loan officers, the actual underwriters ones finally qualifying it, but you have people who don't qualify full doc, and they know that. So we'll just go ahead and throw them in stated. And then when I worked at the mortgage brokerages, you have the AEs coming in. Of course, Countrywide does all that. Okay, the guy go full doc? No. Okay, we'll go stated then. Who else did this? New Century, Option 1, Decision 1. You name it. Flagstar, Greenpoint, they're a big one with that. Bank of America, ton of it. Chase, of course. Just Wells Fargo. So, okay, and, this guy's got no assets either. The easy way to actually learn to see if this person maybe does make that, you can see that, okay, if they actually do make some serious money, and they just don't show it to the IRS, or there's difficulties proving it, Social Security is a good one too. I got to get off subject here. There's banks that actually, I've seen Countrywide and IndyMac. These guys are filthy. They're not really around anymore, but they would literally have borrowers making more than they could possibly even make with Social Security. What? And who's the underwriter allowing this garbage? But anyway, go to the credit report and you can see, okay, well, is it possible that this person's making this much money? Well, they go to these websites called salaries.com to try to verify, is it possible that this person makes this much money? Let's look at the credit report. You say this person's making $6,000 a month. Okay. Let's take a look at the credit report. They've got a line of credit, revolving line of credit with Chase. They got a revolving line of credit with Wachovia. They got a line of credit with American Express and Discover. for like, you know, $500, $600, $600, and $1,000. And they're making $5,000, making $6,000 a month. I really do want to see at least a line of credit in upwards of 10 grand. Okay? You really have to. And you're the loan officer who's inputting these numbers. Oh, well, the borrower's the one that signed that. Or he told me that. You know, truly, the guy next to me in the other cubicle was explaining to the borrower how they were going to get the loan approved for them by saying that they make that much money per month. I've even heard of cases whereby the person might say, oh, I made like, you know, $25,000, or I made $22,000 last year. Oh, okay. And they can just go ahead and say, oh, I underestimated your income a little bit and put it in at like, you know, 16,000. Okay, cool. And, you know, you have this final closing and everything, you have all the papers there and all that, and you just go through it all as the borrower. It says monthly, you know, expense, monthly income, but they just, you know, they were sold on this idea by the loan officer. There's no one else's fault for this stated garbage other than the loan officer, the processor, and the underwriter. In order to get that actual thing to go through, okay, you have to get in bed with somebody. Maybe you know the banker, maybe you know the underwriter, maybe you know the manager of the bank. Who knows? Whatever the case might be, you got to be cool with these guys in order to get this thing to go through. Or it really is the bank's fault. That's how it works, people. There's no way this would go through. Absolutely no way. I mean, all the time, the AEs, account executive, okay? They come, let's take them stated, man. You know, no doc. Okay? Just go no doc. That's a lot better. No doc. No documentation at all. That's just how it should be. I mean, you got the credit report. That's pretty fair. I mean, that's kind of showing the ability of a person to repay. If they had bankruptcy in the past 2 years, I don't know about that. And they're going stated. Yeah. Oh, that's your job. Okay. There are times when the borrower will truly get in bed with, and snort lines and bribes, or you're going to see that's very obvious, and prosecutors are doing the right thing with regard to prosecuting even the loan officer in complicity, how this all works. But these stated loans, you can get approved, you can get all kinds of money for these things and buy houses. They even buy the non-owner occupied houses, buy a bunch of these things. When you see this stuff happening all at once, it's just, that's kind of, hello. And then now you got, you know, oh, I'll qualify, don't worry. If you don't qualify, of course you want to get that loan done because that's how you're getting paid. The loan officer doesn't want to take a fiduciary responsibility in this. It starts right there. And the manager and the processor, you know, just weeds it right along. Instead of just pulling it, you know what I'm saying? And then an underwriter. Well, a lot of them are commission-based. It's a disaster.